Good morning. Um, Guys, those that are on TikTok, just so you know, my disclaimer here, I am going to focus primarily on the SPY. If you want me to look at something else, just throw it in the chat. I will be happy to look at it once I get done. Our community trades the SPY primarily because the movements are a little more predictable. And we've done really well. So let's talk about first off our trading on Friday, how that went. Let's go into the regular hours, the 2 minute. Let's find our market open. Let me mute. I was looking at all these, but let's bring them on one at a time. You know, I keep a lot of these on there because I know what each and every one of them do, and so to me it's easy to see all of them, right? But somebody had mentioned that if you're new, right, it ends up a lot, which I get. So let's talk about the market open Friday. For the most part, you can see it was a pretty good day trading wise because we had opened the market and you know, the grand scheme of things, right? We mostly went sideways, but you know, had some oscillations. We had a market open push, higher low, higher high, higher low, into a higher high. We were actually talking about this. I mean, we had our fall with our bear flag. On top of that, we had our triple top that had played out, and that kind of telegraphed that little bit of a crash down. We did find a little bit of support here into the double bottom. That did end up breaking north. So I actually caught this push north right here. It was funny, when I had entered, I had originally entered right here, truth be told, right? Because I was anticipating some support here. It was a little sooner than I should have, right? And so we had one more push down, but we still ended up catching that, which ended up a really good profitable trade. So I'm okay with that. But as you can see now, we're continuing to drop. Let's talk about some key areas to watch. So first and foremost, I had taken away all of my lines. So I'm gonna just redraw a few of these and just kind of keep showing you guys how to do these. Most messages and feedback I get back is from people asking how to draw these, right? So starting off on my 2 minutes, super easy trend line. You can see right there, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 points. So that's going to be our upper pivot that we're going to watch pretty closely, right? Because if we do end up very bullish at any point today to where we push up to this level, we will want to play that rejection somewhere in that area. So looking at some other levels, right, we want to find our lower potential bounce area. Now, you can see we've already broken this, so we can't really use that, right? This is also based off of regular hours. So let's pump over to extended hours. I always like to draw my trend lines on extended hours. You can see it does change that line a little bit, right? Obviously. So now that if you go into the extended hours, which I prefer to draw my lines with, is I had thought I swapped that to that, but we didn't. So let's draw this one again. So let's go with it. I'm going to take those two peaks right there. And that'll give us similar area. It's off by about 20 cents from what the other one was, but very similar. So our 2 minute, let's take a look at a lower from the after hours. I mean, we could draw something simple like this. For those of you in the room, I hope you guys have an idea of what this is somewhat creating. So now we want to kind of pull out to the 1 hour, right, and see, is there anything viable that we need to know in the 1 hour? So you can obviously see this area was heavy resistance, not a lot of price action for support within here though. So if this resistance, if this flips back to resistance, then the likelihood is that we're going to fall down to that 426 level, 426.24, somewhere in here. So I would say let's mark this out because this level right here is going to be a very viable area right here for a potential bounce. So I'm just going to mark that green. And then I don't really do it this way typically, but I'm going to mark this one. I'm going to temporarily mark it red, even though we're like right at it. Because I believe if we do end up falling down today into this 426 area, we may range in here, right, for a few days, just like we did here. Very possible. And if that happens, right, where we begin to see that range, then we're just basically playing out the other side of this oscillation, right? Which then the next anticipation is that we would potentially break this. So um, let's keep that in mind. I mean, it's an important channel to try to see if we actually fall back into to make that decision. So we do have some key areas I wouldn't mind marking around here. Always remember, minor resistance, prior big support can always flip into resistance. And then I would obviously do the same there. So keep in mind, guys, for those in the community, what I'm doing is just strictly off of candles, movements, price actions. What we did, what I send out to you guys, that is a little more calculated, as well as you want to use that plus this, right, to make your decisions on where to capture those bounces. So let's look at the 1 hour and see, do we have anything viable, right, that we could probably use as a lower. So obviously, if we take this peak to this bottom to this bottom, it's going to be way below that. The next potential that could be hit would be obviously this bottom and this bottom, but that's obviously going to put us way below our target as well. So we don't really have a clear bottom per se. Let's go to the daily and see if there's something else that maybe we can pull. So let's take this one here and pull it up. I want to pull it up to this one there. It bypasses this wick, right? But it hits all these bottoms. So let's see where that lines up. Yeah, still pretty low. That's like 413, 415. And this could be where we get the bounce, right? If we do get that full play out from this side over here, right? This would be our area we want to be careful. So if we do happen to drop over the next 2 weeks or so, 2-3 weeks, down into this area, we want to be really careful of a bounce around this side here. 415, 416 is what I would watch on that. So let's take a look at the actual indicators. So the gap fill sniper, if we pull that up on the daily, you can see we've a little higher on the bullish, but so the bears are basically kicking in to balance that. Now if we go to the hourly, look at this. You guys know in the room we've studied a lot of backtesting on this indicator. Typically when it gets about 30%, it's due for a bounce. The bulls are going to kick in, right? So let's take a look at some bullish potentials. So we know we have this kind of fallen wedge here beginning, right? We have we're coming out of a green area. We are still red on the divergence hunter, but it is coming out of a green area. We are still purple here, which is showing that although we have bullish gap fill, it hasn't quite flipped on us yet. But we do have divergence, right? Because you do have your low, you have your higher low, you have your low, you have your lower low. So the divergence and everything is setting up that we may see a bounce today or tomorrow, right? To push that up. So let's look at the Harmonic Tracker Pro, see if that shows anything to complement that. So we do have some support here. It's real thin. I don't know how much I trust that quite yet. The POC is higher, up about 433, but this resistance up here is just pretty wild on how big of a gap actually that is. But we have not seen a long yet. Last thing it called was that short, which had played that down. So let's take a look at the Bollinger and the zone. You can see that we're well below the 200 EMA, which is around 441. So with lots of room, we could run north. I can definitely do NVIDIA in a moment. So lots of room to go north, right? We may be beginning to see somewhat of a rounded area of support here, right? It's very possible. I would say the key levels that we want to watch is going to be this zone that we had here around the 429 and 425. If we stay below that, and we stay below this 21 SMA, right? So if you look at the 21 SMA, we've stayed below that. We tried to break it, failed. Tried to break it again, failed. we need to flip this. So I would be really careful taking calls, unless you can flip this SMA, right? Because this is a huge gap in between the SMA and the EMA. So definitely some room to make some money in that for sure. So, but you're better off if you're gonna take a call, wait till it pull back and capture it on the way back up. Give yourself some room to actually scalp that. If you're gonna take a put, obviously wait till you push up to it and then ride that put down. Don't just jump into it right away. Not too smart. So, but that's kind of the ranges that I'm seeing on the SPY, guys. If you guys want to see the ranges, we put them out here in the room. I'm gonna show. I'll show it temporarily, guys. So you can see under Market Insights, this is what I put out for people each morning. It talks about the market update. You get it a little bit before. It talks about bullish, bearish, some settings that we set on there, and some key pivot levels. So for those you guys that are in there, I mean, you can check that out. If you're not a member, just check us out at botjock.com. You'll get that little extra in there. So let's take a look at some other stuff here. NVIDIA was the first request. Probably my most popular. It used to be Tesla like crazy. Now it's NVIDIA. So let's spend some time, since we only have NVIDIA. I'm gonna remove not that. I want to remove my drawings here. Let's start fresh on NVIDIA, just like we did SPY, because it's been a little bit. So NVIDIA, what I'm looking at here is I want to find where's my upper, where's my lower. It's got a pretty distinguished downtrend. You can see this pretty clearly. So this is the line that I would watch. If this support level here, where it's holding, can break this line, it's gonna run, and probably in a big way. Something similar to this. Let's look at. I'm just trying to find any kind of lower pivot that I like. Let's go to the daily. Yeah, with this crazy run it had, it's gonna be tough to find anything close, right? Because just such a gap. It's so crazy. The only thing I would probably say that might be somewhat viable would be if you went like that, just drew like a midline, right? Because you still have your hit here, but you have 1, 2, 3 hits to solidify it, and it's pretty close. So I would probably take that as if I'm gonna box it in today. After I have it boxed in, I'll go back to the 1 hour. Let's find some key support levels. There's like a little, I was looking at here, you could almost take this too, because you do have 3 hits here, right? So this one obviously was viable. So we could end up in a double bottom situation, right, off of this now, and then that would break from that line, which would cause a crazy push up. So that's definitely some levels I will watch right there. As far as the Bollinger and zone, let's look at that. So we're not quite above the 21 yet. 21's right there. So I would say 415, about 416 is where I would look to potentially take the calls. But other than that, we're still below the 21, to be honest. Let's see what the gap fill. Gap fill is calling bullish. So I'd be very, very careful taking puts. We are still purple here a little bit. You can see where it flipped the blue. So what that means typically is you could have a pull back before you have the push north, is what you want to watch on that. Harmonic. Well, Harmonic called along actually. Very recent, 4 a.m. actually, this morning. Interesting, and it hasn't called it long since way up there, in the short there. So hopefully that helps, NVIDIA. If you guys have any other ones you want me to look at, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to jump into the dollar. If these end up short, they end up short. I'm okay with that, because I'll just open the room for the community a little sooner. So the dollar is showing bearish gap fill by quite a bit. So I want you guys to think about that. The dollar on our indicator is showing extremely bearish gap fill coming, and the SPY is showing bullish gap fill coming, and NVIDIA. So you can see that the we've been over bearish on the market and over bullish on the dollar, and so what that's telling you is that there's a shift that's going to come. So let's look at the dollar. We did get our golden cross. It stayed above it, so we would need to flip below 104.78 to become really bearish. But it's fighting this resistance line, this prior level right here. So, which is going to be a key area, 105.78, which is literally like right at it. If it's going to hold that, I would need to see an explosion up into 106 and then a pullback to show me as support. If that happens, the markets are in trouble. Markets are going down. So, pretty key area to watch for. Let's see what the harmonic's saying. Yeah, so we had their short, we had our long. So still in a long for that one. All right, guys, you want me to take a look at anything else? Let me know. I haven't been covering Bitcoin a whole lot because not many people have asked for it, to be honest with you. So far, it's played out the way we talked about. When we had this crazy pump, I said it's looking pretty head and shoulder-ish. Obviously, that's played out really well. Just be careful with Bitcoin, because you do, typically the first move is to reclaim this, which it already did. So it could find some support here soon. If it breaks this level, this 26 level, then we're almost certain to come back down here to 25.6 to retest that. But it is possible to get a bounce in here. I mean, we've done it a few times before. Actually, a bounce here would be a show of support, and it would push us north pretty big. But our zone tracker's calling a little bit lower down here. Can you do the SPY? Shut up, John. John's got jokes on Monday. John's part of our community. You know better. BA. I have no idea what BA is. Let me know if I'm doing the right one here. Let's see. I like to go to my. This is the one I like to screw up for people. Boeing. Okay, I don't trade Boeing at all, so I didn't know the symbol. I don't think I've ever even charted Boeing. So this will be a fresh look for you. Yeah, I do not trade Boeing. Well, I can tell you just from looking at it, it's literally at a support level. Crazy support too. Let me go to the daily. You can see here though, it's at this support level, but if it breaks this support level, there is quite a ways that it could drop down. I would mark this right here, about 193.53. If I'm watching this one, mark it as support, because you can see here we had some significant support all through here, just tons of support. It had a nice little crash. You can see our RSI is way over sold. Doesn't mean it can't go a little bit further there. I mean, you can see back here it went even way. I mean, it went all the way down to like 14. So, but our indicators, I mean, just aiming straight down. So I wouldn't say that you're clear to take a call of any sort or to buy it, but definitely setting up a potential buy. Let's look here. So the 1 hour, we do have, so you have 1, 2, now 3 points of bullish divergence. So it's definitely setting up. Yeah, I know. It's been crashing. Look at this. So, but it's definitely setting up. Some strength's coming back into the market on the 1 hour. You can see we got higher lows here, and we got 3 points lower lows. So let's take a look at the I mean, this is an easy one to ride this puts, because look at this, it just keeps rejecting off the 21. So for me, I don't know that I would chase this any further on a put. I would be patient, because if it flips this 21 and this divergence begins to play out, you're going to get a nice little pop north. So I think this could be a great play for a call. I would just be I'd be patient with it. I mean, look at the levels that it's at. Right, you can see each time it hit in this area, it had some pretty significant pushes north. Let's look at the other ones here. Let's see, gut feel sniper. Yeah, see, look, you got 37%. So even that's showing that we got a gut feel that needs to happen, which is pretty obvious. I mean, you can look at the chart and tell it has to have some form of gut feel. And I'm just looking at the TA things. I don't know if there's any news or anything going on with Boeing. But the short has played out from the harmonic tracker. So we scalp in our rim, so you can see it actually did pretty good. Nice little long scalp, hit the short, back into the long, back into the short, and it's just stayed short. So man, that's quite a short you could have took. So, but you can see the order blocks, have a lot of support. So my analysis on this one is it's extremely bearish, but be careful of the reversal, because I think it's going to set up for a reversal. And then, man, that the wave that you could ride up once things flip could be good. But just be really cautious of this level, 193.50 or 60, because if it breaks that with any kind of steam, the fall could be pretty nasty. So set stop losses on that if you do it, play it. Good deal, guys. Well, that's all I really got, guys. We're gonna do some trading in the room. If you guys want to come in, you can check it out, botjock.com. When you go to botjock, you just click here. It's just right here, botjok.com. So we like to go with, like, we're kind of a one-stop shop trading. So if you go into your account, you can see my test accounts we did for our copy trade thing that we were doing. But we have an academy. If you don't know anything about trading, this academy is going to be amazing for you. We do automated trading floor. People ask about they ask what's our Discord, and you can see we built our own Discord, so it is definitely good. John, love it. $3. It was a good week for you, though. We have buy sell signals, indicators. I mean, like I said, guys, we charge you guys for the products, not necessarily for the TA. So if you guys want to come on in, check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and drop off on the community here, guys. We'll see you soon. It is Monday, so we're going to be a little more aggressive. The last thing I want to mention, because somebody asked me this, the morning settings that I set for the live trader, the ranges, they're more passive-ish, meaning I do those for the people that want to set it and go to work, right? They don't want to watch it all day or whatever. I may make adjustments to be a little more aggressive because it is Monday, but I want to do that as a little more passive, just so that way people can get some good trades if we get up to those ranges or down to those ranges, but it's not something you have to extremely be concerned about. So but I hope that helps you guys out, and we will see you